Hello and welcome to Micah Screens. My name is Micah. Today I am screening Love is Blind. I'm jumping in at Season 5, Episode 8, so here is a summary of my impressions from Episodes 1 through 7. Everyone is a villain. Everyone is immature. Everyone is coming off yucky. If I were Taylor, I would actually be sending JP a thank you for giving me the chance to avoid most of this mess. Johnny had notable mean girl moments caught on camera, and she had the guy who fosters dogs as her number 2, which is unconscionable. Stacy is overprivileged and also a mean girl. She's just better at hiding it. I also associate Stacy with gross because of all the bodily function talk. I'm more mad at Love is Blind for that gaggery offensiveness than I am Stacy, but she's associated. Also, Stacy, you are stunningly gorgeous, and at the risk of sounding like JP, your makeup is giving clown. You are too pretty for all the bronzer in the pan to be on your face. Lydia is too much. It's not really a crime. I don't think she's as crazy as Uche is trying to make her out to be, like not at all, but she is too strong for my taste. Stage 1 clinger for sure, but she's not a stalker like she's being painted out to be. Also, very impressed with her educational background. She said in the pods that that's her, greatest achievement or the proudest thing, and it would be mine too. Aaliyah and Taylor won the game. They deserve a round of applause because those women dodged some bullets and they avoided most of the mess. Both of them were too good for these guys, way out of their league. Walk away happy, ladies, because you are golden. Izzy is gross. I don't like the way that he tried to start something with Lydia on the honeymoon, and she was like, bro, I'm good. Then also just attacked Johnny for some reason that happened in the past. I'm not saying Johnny is right, but if her boyfriend's forgiven her for it, why is Izzy holding this heavy grudge? And worse, Izzy, got off on making Johnny cry. He was just hyping himself up at the bar with Stacy, continuing to insult her. Uche is not real. He's giving robot and secret serial killer. He's rude, he's condescending, he's shady, he's hypocritical, and he's not even entertaining. I'm checking my phone every time Uche speaks because it's nonsensical BS. Obviously, we're not watching a bunch of 10s. They're all decent-looking people, but not everyone's ugly is on the outside. There is a reason why everybody here is single and chose to then make a spectacle of themselves on global television. Most regular people who are, in my opinion, marriage material and desirable probably don't want to be seen, falling in love, fighting, and crying for clout and attention on Netflix. Milton is too young to be with a 30-something-year-old. There's a lot of growth that happens between ages 25 and 30, and at the risk of sounding like a Gen X dad, your frontal lobe isn't even developed. You play Pokemon, and maybe you have book smarts top-notch, but I'm not sure that Milton is emotionally mature enough to be in this situation. Then again, I'm not sure Lydia is either. Okay, now we're all caught up. We start off episode 8 with Uche being a douche and lying with Milton. Then the asshole gets up and justifies to the entire group why he's here, as if it's not solely about camera time and attention via stirring up drama. This guy is trash. Then Uche sits down and acts like a teenager in a circle having some high school gossip session about someone who's done nothing to anyone there. Lydia is too much, too loud, too in your face, too touchy-feely for me, but this grown adult is sitting here acting like a needy clinger is something more psycho and sinister than she actually is. Flat out false. Why do I say liar? Because Uche cannot gaslight me. The only time that this man showed vulnerability and cried in the pods was when he was talking about what a great girl Lydia was and why she deserved love and how bad he felt for treating her. Now, a few days later, she's a stalker and she followed you onto the show? No, you're not fooling me. Uche, you didn't talk shit to Milton because production told you not to. One of the producers came out and explained the entire messy situation and how their handling of it kind of put you and Lydia both in a weird position, but it had nothing to do with you not being manipulative. In fact, you kept questioning Milton on, are you sure you're ready for marriage? Are you sure you're ready for marriage? Then you continue to do it today in this scene. Also, why is Lydia over at your house? Why are you booty calling, hooking up with this, scary woman 3 months ago when you already knew that you were going to be on the show? It sounds like great marriage prep to me. This entire story could be fabricated. Where is the footage of Lydia exclaiming that she might run into somebody from her past? Also, if she's trying to be deceptive, that's a pretty messy thing to do. I didn't know that I was going to get this heated at 6 a.m. But then, two-tone Stacy jumps on Johnny for just opening her mouth in the most vitriolic way. She's like, "Is your face okay?" So Johnny can't emote, she can't express. Like, Johnny should be embarrassed or something. Stacy, she wasn't even looking at you. And also, as if Stacy hasn't been talking about dick size and poop. Like, it's just nasty. I was, of course, clapping and cheering for Stacy about 5 seconds later, saying, "Yes, girl," when she started to defend Lydia and argue back with Uche. I loved the way that all of these women stood up for their own, telling the truth about what they saw and speaking for Lydia's side of the story, because this man was flummoxed. I was living for Miriam altercating with Uche. She wasn't having any of his derogatory, condescending BS. Then Uche started running while Miriam was ripping him a new one, saying, "Stacy, can I talk to you? I can't domineer and control this other lady. Would you like to go talk to me about nonsense so that I can use up more screen time? This man is acting like one of the Bachelor contestants. Lydia, can I talk to you? Milton, can I talk to you? Stacy, can I talk to you? How can I stay relevant? Who can I coerce? Lying, gaslighting, toxic ass." The absolute hypocrisy. Telling Miriam that she's here for the cameras. The effrontery. Ugh, what a... Bye. Good riddance. I don't want to waste any more of my time on Uche. I'm getting too heated, and now I'm getting messy. Ugh. I love how Lydia came back and handled the whole situation. She obviously stepped away after she got heated, took a breath, calmed down. Maybe Milton said something really logical and scientific in their timeout that helped her to disengage emotionally, and she played it well. Let him look bad. That's always the way to go. Manipulative and abusive and narcissistic people will tell on themselves. They will get exposed in time. You can't hide your true colors with all of these eyes and all of these cameras on you. And then we have Johnny, bewildered, mouth agape, believing Uche's stories. She's speaking to Lydia, saying, "He was so convincing." What? Are you one of those people that buys the special effects $80 gallon of water? I mean, how gullible can you get? The stupidity. She's like, "I've just heard so much from both sides in confusion." How are you puzzled, ma'am? You're a lawyer? I'd be interested to see how you would do as a jury member. I wouldn't really want you deciding my fate because you're just ping-ponging back from side to side based purely on who's talking. No critical thought otherwise applied. And I could be completely wrong about everything. I also just flip-flopped from bashing Stacy to then cheering her on in the next breath. I, too, am an unreasonable trash human with too many flaws to count. I loved that other girl. I don't remember her name, but she was wearing white and sitting next to Miriam when she said, "What, do you not look at people's stories that you've been fucking? For real, girl." She stood up for people a couple of times, and I really appreciated it. Milton is then talking to Uche and handling his nonsense like the only adult in the room, talking about X and Y directions, and I was laughing out loud. Like, what? He's spot on and super healthy on perspective. I just don't entirely understand his reasoning because that's above my grade level. Props to Milton for diffusing Uche. I wish I could say something about whittling him down like one of your rocks, but I'm totally remedial. Milton, you are the worst dressed person at this party, but you are the cleanest. Don't let any of that shit stick to you. Just not even playing Uche's games. You made that man who's trying to act like he's some respectable older figure in your life look like a joke. I don't know if I should be wanting Milton to marry Lydia per se, but I do hope that he finds happiness. I think that she could probably understand whatever he said about theorems and whatnot to Uche better than I can, so maybe they're a match made in heaven. I mean, life is weird and it doesn't exclusively look like a 2.5-year older man with a shorter woman of the same race, right? Like, that's why this show exists, to experiment with societal boundaries and break down stereotypes and barriers that tell us cookie-cutter relationships look like A, B, C, D. My husband is 2 years younger than me, and we're good. It's been almost 8 years now. Chris decides to risk getting messy by talking with Izzy about what he said repeatedly to Johnny. Izzy says that he's happy for Chris, and he doesn't hate Johnny, and he wants the best for him. Sure. It's the same thing that Uche said. I don't want to affect your relationship, but... Then follows the platitudes with nothing but shit talk, derogatory, defamatory, and disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. Izzy is pretty obviously intoxicated in this moment. And then, what the heck? Lydia comes out of nowhere, but she's looking a lot like Izzy. She's on again about the, "you remind me of me." Is this just something that people say casually? I've never even thought to tell somebody that. In fact, I would be so checked out of a conversation if someone said, "you remind me of me." Because my brain would just be then spinning with all of the reasons of why that isn't true. I couldn't even listen to whatever came next. I'd be thinking, well, I'm not bald, I'm incredibly attractive, I'm way better dressed, I'm not slurring my words, I'm quiet, reserved, forgiving, objective. Actually, I don't think I could be any different from you. Whoa, when did Stacy get here? That was supposed to be Chris. I don't think I do a very good change of voice, but that was supposed to be Chris. See what I mean? I have no idea what Izzy said after "you remind me of me." I don't like Izzy, and I don't like Stacy, and we're watching a lot of them tonight. I would feel really uncomfortable if I was Chris. I'd feel like even more uncomfortable if I was Johnny than walking up and seeing two other people that just giggled in a corner about how much they hate me now, double teaming my new boyfriend. This show is awful. It's not even fun anymore. You have to have a few likable characters mixed in with the villains for compelling television. I need some people to root for along with some people to hate. When I'm completely apathetic to everyone, I start to feel like this is just a waste of time. And of course, all TV is a waste of time, but I don't want to become aware of that fact while currently engaging in it. I'm losing IQ points watching these immature drunk people call each other shitty over and over again, come up with a different insult. Stacy also gets so much more country when she's being mean and insulting people. I can't tell if she's putting on a character or just showing her true one. The accent itself feels fake, but I really have no idea because I've lived in the Northwest my entire life and we don't talk like that at all. To me, it sounds like a caricature of somebody that's country. I love how Izzy tried to act like he's being the bigger person as he's leaving, and then Chris said, we're all not. We're all four of us are not good. Kudos to Chris for being calm and just allowing the crazy to get in his face and wash over him. I hope that Chris is a little buzzed, or else whatever booze breath Izzy smells like is surely offensive. Maybe it's true that Johnny doesn't deserve Chris, but that's Chris's decision to make, and I think that Chris and Milton came out of this night looking so good. Clean kings, just avoiding the messy pot stirrers, shit talkers, and shit tossers. Everyone around them is acting like children. Stacy has some gall calling Johnny two-faced after she was talking in the beginning of the night about wishing she had fed Johnny poop cookies. Also, it's just gross. Again, like, why does that even come into your brain? And then you say it out loud? Ick. But oh, Johnny was talking behind my back in the pods. You all talk behind people's backs. I'm talking behind your back. Everyone speaks about each other because you're in this tiny fishbowl of chaos and no one is thinking or seeing clearly, especially because production keeps you all liquored up as much as possible. These shows, all reality and dating television shows, are simply and entirely about flawed, mistaken people who scream and point and get offended at and about the other characters' flaws and mistakes. Then you all have private conversations about the flaws and mistakes. You fight about misconceptions and hurt feelings, all from the perspective that you're golden Jesus walking on water and you've never done anything wrong in your entire life. Then the cycle repeats. Milton calming down Lydia was the beautiful Febreze spray over this awful mess. I'm thinking, yes, Milton, I am being emotional. You're right. Who gives a fuck? This is minute. Cute that Lydia didn't know what minute meant, and then Milton actually explained it in like the most contextually appropriate way. Stacy and Izzy stumble into their apartment, and Stacy yells at her dogs. I'm mad. I hate it when people are drunk, so they don't have the patience for their pet, and they yell at their little, innocent, loving dogs for acting the way that dogs usually do. Foster dad Chris would never. Dogs are the most innocent, pure, loving, and loyal creatures on God's green earth, and I cannot stand when people yell at them for nothing. Stacy and Izzy in their apartment is just embarrassing. I wouldn't want a camera on me when I'm wasted, so I don't feel like commenting on most of it, but Stacy's voice changes again to like this little baby voice, and I'm more scared that she has even more different personas now. Izzy just looks like he needs a nap. Although drunk, Stacy is onto something when she's questioning why Izzy cares about Johnny at all. And I think we should kind of highlight and examine where the ecstasy is coming from when Izzy says enthusiastically that he was turned on by Stacy yelling at Johnny. There has to be a weird underlying reason for this, some feelings unresolved. That statement would really make me question him. Well, that, and the conversation with Johnny, and the fact that the girl's name won't stop coming out of his mouth. If I were in this situation, I would be avoiding all interaction with the other potentials for me and my partner. Nothing good ever comes out of it. We had Micah, which, why is your name Micah? But also, does every girl named Micah have a droopy face and no chin? Because I'm absolutely seeing myself in Micah from season 4, for more than just the name. Conversations with the other potentials, although obviously contrived by production, are never constructive. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, just remove the oxygen from the atmosphere. I don't think any of these couples are going to last. They're all toxic in their own way. I hate watching drunk people argue. It's like when a movie or a book or a show has a dream sequence, but they make it seem like it's reality, so you're invested in what's ever happening, but then it's all just erased and doesn't matter when the person wakes up. Watching the show on 1.5 speed is not fast enough. Oh my gosh. I had to pause it. Was Izzy sitting in the closet crying? When the camera watched him get up, it doesn't help that he's like shorter plus bulky, so he looks like a kid almost, and it's not nice, but I was just like, it was like a little kid. There is a scene in Sister Wives, like the earlier seasons. Janelle's in her first Vegas house, the rental, and Garrison hits Gabe or something, and there's a fight with a gaming console. The camera watches one of the kids run toward the door and shut it on the camera's face. And this scene just reminded me of that. Like, Izzy getting up out of the closet over the clothes and shutting the camera so that they can't see into his bathroom or whatever. I don't think that his outfit helped either. Oh my gosh, crying in a closet, tantrum shutting the door. That guy needs some help. Milton and Lydia are so much healthier looking from one couple to the next. Just quietly telling each other that they love each other and assessing the night in bed. The next day or next time we see them, Stacy's doing some sort of Pilates instruction at an upscale gym. That's why she wears all these high-end gym clothes. It's her job. It can't be good for you to wear a full face of makeup and sweat, right? I'm sure it's only today and for the cameras, but that would give me so much anxiety. Like, I wash my face before I go work out just because, like, the sweat opens up your pores. Izzy gives Stacy cheap, superficial gifts to say sorry, and we're meant to think that it's some sort of special Titanic moment. Izzy's mom comes over, and she is awesome. Izzy's mom knows how to handle a puppy. When she walks in, she brightens up the show. Latina mommies are here stealing the show from their very messy children. Izzy brags again about buying flowers every week, except I think they've only had 1 week together. How long is that going to last? I'd rather have help than get a plunger and 5 roses. I used to be a florist, so I know flowers are a super big waste of money. I love them. I love working with them. They're gorgeous. I jump at the chance to arrange anything, anywhere. But they're a waste of money for every single week. Get a gorgeous plant. They won't die. And they don't stain or mess. They're the same price. How about you get her a plant and then just say, I'll water it for you every week instead of buying all new flowers. Izzy's mom being serious with Stacy was a good moment. I loved her saying, this is not a game. And yes, I agree, except they're on a show. It totally is. And your son is no winner. He's also treating this situation like a game. And the game is fame. That's why they're here. That's why they're sticking through this. That's why they're pretending to be in love. They all want the attention. Because after this, Izzy doesn't have to go back to that job that the friend gave him. He gets to go do whatever influency thing. There's already people taking pictures of Izzy, paparazzi, with some other girl at a tattoo shop. And now we're in the middle of the conversation and Izzy is crying again. Like, bro, get it together. Stacy didn't even say anything profound. I can understand why the mom is crying because she's like emotional over the fact that this is the woman that she actually believes her son is going to love for the rest of their life. I'm realizing there's not a lot of depth, which wasn't really a mystery or a question. I just realized I haven't stated it yet, that there's not a lot of depth to Stacy and Izzy. Oh my gosh. I have to take like a little break because my corgi is lying on his back and he stretches like a cartoon character, like an animated Disney Pixar dog that's meant to emotionally manipulate you into crying over them. Oh, it's just the cutest. Okay, Izzy and Stacy are not deep. Let's go meet Milton's family. We're starting off low. Mom is not happy that Lydia is not calling Milton James, as if that's her fault when she's only ever known him as Milton. If my husband came to me and said, I want you to call me John now, I would have a really tough time converting my frame of mind around that because the only thing I've ever known you as is this one thing. Lydia did get points for being in STEM. Being at home has had an alarming effect on Milton, as if he has reverted to toddlerhood. The man, 6'7", is in the back of the family shot attempting to open a wine bottle like a beaver. And it is so poetically just that while Milton is teething on a cork stopper, that his mother asks his 30-year-old fiance if she's ever dated someone that much younger than herself. Lydia is boasting about Milton's maturity as he quietly sets the wine bottle with a half-eaten cork and drool coming down the side onto the kitchen counter behind her. Apparently he's given up and conceded the battle to the wine bottle. Next time he should challenge it to a game of Pokemon. Milton's family has got it together. I'm loving the questions. I love how they're respectful and thoughtful while also keeping their distance. Milton picks some chunks of cork off his pants and then just flicks them onto his parents' nice furniture. I would be so mad. Hey, you're the one chomping on that wine bottle like a dog. You keep that mess off my couch. I think that his brother is on the end. He came to Milton's defense a little. He was like, he mentioned marriage to me once or twice. We were at a wedding, but still. Milton's mom is a boss. She's sitting on the couch in her headshot camera one-on-one, whatever you call it, talking about resumes and whether or not she's going to be hiring Lydia as her son's wife. I stan. She's questioning Lydia's qualifications. This is a full-on interview. She nailed the verbal portion. Hopefully Lydia does just as well on the written section and drug test. Lydia did know more than Milton's own sister about the number of Jameses that he is in the long family line. We end the episode with the sister and mom questioning the validity of this relationship. And I think even though they're being harder on Lydia than the rest of the families on this show this season, I think I'd rather be worse. This entire thing is a joke. It's almost making a mockery of real relationships and marriage. I'm not saying it can't work, but I would just probably be way more skeptical if I were in their shoes. So go in on the couple, go hard and then press harder, because this experiment is not set up for success. Scrutinize everything. And also, as a parent or family, don't get emotionally invested in this union, because 90% of these relationships are not working out. I'll be back to review the next 2 episodes. I might do like a watch-along way. I don't know. I'm kind of trying this reality television thing. Regardless, thanks for listening to my review of Love is Blind episode 8. Bye!